Just like Hulkamania, speculation is running wild. What is shaking, YouTube? This is your host, Lawrence, over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and welcome back to the show. Today is the Hot 10 Comics of the Week breakdown, where I take the 10 hottest comics according to the Key Collector app, and I break them down for you guys, letting you know which books I'm buying and which books I'm staying away from. But like always, I remind you guys, we are almost at 8,000 subs, just under 200 to go. I cannot wait, because you all know I'm giving away some awesome stuff. Before we get started, do me a favor, hit that sub button if you're not a subscriber, smash that like button if you enjoyed this video. With that said, let's get into this week's breakdown. Starting off the list at number 10 this week is a copy of Infamous Iron Man #1, the issue where Doctor Doom becomes Iron Man. We all know why this book is on this list, and this is the height of speculation at the moment. And right now, we just had a CGC 9.4 sell for $200, up an insane 111% over the average. You guys know this. The only reason this book is hot right now because RDJ is coming back to the MCU as Victor Von Doom. Now, with that said, I think you're out of your mind if you're spending more than about $30 on this book in the raw form. I can't understand why you'd want to spend up to $200 on a 9.4. It makes zero sense. This is a hell no for me. Back on the list at number 9 this week is a copy of Ghost Rider #1 and the first solo titled Ghost Rider series. This is also the first appearance of Damian Hellstrom. And last week we had a CGC 8.0 sell for $670, up 9% over the average. Then we had a CGC 4.0 sale of only $300, up another 5% over the average. I always say this, guys. I always want to own Marvel Spotlight 5, the first appearance of the Ghost Rider, over this book. It is still a great issue, and if you can get it for cheap, I'd be all over it. With that said, Ryan Gosling right now, there's rumors out there that he's going to be taking on Johnny Blaze in the MCU. I have no idea if that's fact or not, but with that said, I don't want to pay up here for this book. If I'm going to spend money, it's going to be on Marvel Spotlight #5. Dropping a couple of spots to number 8 this week is a copy of Hulk #1 and the first cover appearance of the Red Hulk, General Thunderbolt Ross. And we all saw that trailer for the new Captain America New World Order, and we finally got to see the Red Hulk in action. And last week we had another CGC 9.8 sold for $325, but still up 23% over the average. I'm going to say ditto what I've said for the past couple of weeks. If you own this book, I'd be a seller right here, not a buyer. Too much money for this one. It is not worth it at these prices. Back at number 7 this week is a copy of Avengers #25 and the first battle between the Avengers and Doctor Doom. And last week we had a CGC 9.0, a super high grade copy of this one, sold for $927, up a whopping 41% over the average. Then we had a CGC 5.5 sale of only $230, but up still a crazy 59% over the average. I tell you what, I challenge everyone out there to go out to their LCS or to Terrificon this weekend where I'm going to be. If I find this book for cheap, I may buy it, show you guys on the channel that I would not pay these prices for this book. Awesome cover, awesome battle, but either way, way too much money with all the spec going on right now. I'm staying away. At the 6th spot this week is a copy of Iron Man #150 and the battle between Iron Man and Doctor Doom. Of course, is an iconic cover by John Romita Jr. And last week we had a whopping CGC 9.8 sell for $1,710, up a crazy 114% over that average. Man, I hope you do not spend that kind of money on this book. We also had a CGC 8.0 sale for only $145, still up 61% over the average. Now, I absolutely love this cover, guys, but I could still find this book for around $20 at a local show, at your LCS, in decent grade, so I don't know why you'd want to spend $1,700 on a 9.8, let alone $150 on a lower grade. To me, it makes no sense. Love the cover, hate the price. I guarantee you can find this book for a deal, and like I said before, I'll be at Terrificon this week. I'm going to be searching for some of these books, and I'll let you know the prices you can actually get them for. Coming in at number 5 this week is a copy of Fantastic Four Annual #2 and the continuation of the origin of Doctor Doom. And last week we had a CGC 8.0 sold for $1,534, up 7% over the average. Then we had a CGC 4.5 sale for only $355, but up 18% over the average. This is a case where the mid-grade book is up a higher percentage over the high-grade book. I always tell you guys, mid-grade books, even lower-grade books, can go up in value faster than some of these high-grade ones, because not a lot of people want to spend almost $2,000 on a high-grade copy of this books. With that said, I will say I'm not interested in a lot of these Fantastic Four books, these Doctor Doom books right now, unless you can get them for a deal, because these prices are absolutely insane. Let's wait for all the hype to die down and then see if you want to own this book for a better price. Back on the list at number 4 this week is a copy of Uncanny X-Men number 266 and the second appearance of Gambit, but also his first cover appearance.
How long I've been waiting for this. Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
And last week, we had a CGC 9.6, sold for $250, up 6% over the average. Gambit Mania has taken over comic books right now. I'm surprised to see this book at a 9.6, only at $260. But with that said, I do not want to spend the money on this book right here, right now. If I'm going to buy it, I want to buy it in either a 9.8 or I want to get myself a nice raw copy for cheap. I always see them between $150 and $200. I think that $150 spot, if you're going to buy a raw copy, is the sweet spot. Just look for the one that you want to own in your collection for the long term. But right now, I'm holding off buying this book because there's rumors out there right now that we may see Channing Tatum again putting on the Gambit costume. Still on the list at number 3 this week is a copy of New Mutants 98 and the first appearance of Deadpool. And we just had a CGC 9.6, sold for $600, up 15% over the average. I know you and I are both tired of seeing this book on this list. You know, I only want to own this book in a 9.8, hell, even a 9.9. But right now I'm waiting because I have a feeling that 9.8 is going to be dropping to around $700 to $750 real soon. For right now, I'm staying away. Back at the 2 spot this week is a copy of Incredible Hulk number 340 and the classic cover by the great Todd McFarlane. And last week we had a CGC 9.6, sold for $380, up 12% over that average. Then we had a CGC 9.2 sale for only $240, up 17% over the average. I'm going to tell you the same thing I told you guys last week. I want to own this book. I love this cover, and I do think you're going to find a deal on it a lot of places. In fact, I just sold my copy, which is a 9.0, 9.2 newsstand copy, for only $175 just this past weekend. With that said, if you could buy this book for a deal, I'm all over it, but if not, I'd be definitely staying away. Finally, at the top spot this week, a brand new book to this list, shooting all the way to number 1. It is a copy of Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars number 8 and the origin of the black symbiote costume. And last week we had a CGC 9.6, not a 9.8, sold for $341, but up 35% over the average. I think everyone out there in the community probably already owns this book already, so I'm not sure why this book is on this list. With that said, this is a staple in every comic book collection. You should own it if you're a fan of Spider-Man, Secret Wars, or the symbiote costume. With that said, I only want to own this book in a 9.8, and I don't want to pay $600, the going rate for this book, so I'd rather just own a raw copy, and I hope all of you out there already do, because that's what I'll be spending my money on, not a 9.6. Hope you guys enjoy this one. It is now time for my best buy of the week, and I'm going with Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars number 8, this classic storyline and the origin of the symbiote costume. Like I said before, everyone should own this book, and you don't have to break the bank just to own it. If you want to own a 9.8, I totally understand, but right now I don't want to spend the money that this book is going for. I just want to own the book because I love the storyline. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles saying thank you for watching. I'll see you at Terrificon, and I'll talk to you guys soon.